This is whatever 2.1 to 2.4 physics quiz course practice. Very, 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 very easy. Again, read my notes. Please read my notes. they're very, very they're very wallah, they're very beneficial. The only thing I didn't put in my note. I don't know why this isn't opening. The only thing I didn't put in my notes was this experiment over here. Like I put electrostatic induction, but I think in class we just skipped this one here. So that's why it's not in my notes. I'll explain it in a sec once we get to the question about it. In experiments, objects that behave like polythene, plastic, are always negative, or objects that behave like glass are always positive. Okay? Question 2. In an experiment, a negatively charged rod is brought close to two neutral conducting spheres that touch each other. When one of the spheres initially standing further from the rod is moved away, it is found to carry a charge. Choose the correct answer. This is Akid charging by induction. Okay, why is it charging by induction? Because you're putting a negatively charged, you're bringing it close to the spheres. So عندك الspheres هون 1 و 2, right? وعندك these are supposed to be touching. Okay, you have 1 2 هيك وهيك. Okay, you get the sphere like this. Oh, I don't know, it's negative, so hey. Okay, so it's a negatively charged sphere, bringing it close. Since you're not bringing it in contact, it's just in close. Okay, it's called induction. Induction is when you don't touch them. Okay, and then what happens is after like a few seconds, they moved one of the spheres, initially the one that's further, they moved it away. It's found to carry a charge, and that's going to be negative. Why? Okay, let's see. Here, when you bring the negative rod here, you get the positive charges that all go to this sphere to go close to this negative. Because the negative one attracts the positive charges. So what's going to happen? It attracts all the positive charges, so all the negative electrons, negative charges will build up over here, right? When they build up over here, what happened is they moved this sphere away. They moved it away. How does it look? It's going to look like this. وهيك هون you have your positive. This one here is minus, minus, minus. So what is the charge of the rod that was far away? It's negative. In the quiz for the AMS, term 1 week 5 CA, they put positive. It was wrong. Okay. I even checked it. But now they fixed it. They put it negative. Okay. If they asked what is the charge of the sphere that was closer to the rod, it would obviously be the positive one. Okay. If it helps, draw it in your exam. These questions shouldn't take ولا شيء. Okay. Two glass rods that are initially rubbed with silk. When you rub a glass rod with silk, it's positive. So they're both positive. What happens? It repels. Two plastic rubbed with paper. When you rub it with paper, not necessarily paper, but when you rub a plastic rod, you get negative. And let me make sure, just so like I'm not making anything up. Over here. Okay. Oh, hold up. Go back. Okay. Yeah, so it's usually plastic, polythene, it's rubbed with paper. Or glass, it's usually rubbed with silk. Okay. But that's not like something they usually ask. But in case they do, glass is with silk, or plastic is with paper. Okay. A plastic, when it's rubbed with paper, it becomes negative. When you have two negatives, they repel. A plastic rod rubbed with paper, so negative. Glass rod rubbed with silk, so positive, negative, positive, opposite charges attract. Plastic and glass brought close without rubbing. Without rubbing, no interaction. Okay, why? Because ما في rubbing. There's no charges. Okay, they're اثنيناتهم neutral. They'll both be neutral. ما حيكون في شيء. What is true about charged objects? A pith ball repelled by a charged polythene rod is also negative. Okay. Polythene is what? Negative. صح? A pith ball, if they're saying it's repelled by this polythene rod, يعني أكيد it's also going to be negative. Since it's repelled, يعني both they're the same charge. Right? So it's correct. Pith ball repelled by a glass rod. The glass rod, it's positive. So if it's repelled by a glass, يعني أكيد it's also going to be positive. When a polythene rod is charged, it carries a positive charge. Plastic, it becomes positive? No, we said it's negative, right? When a glass rod is charged, it becomes negative? No, we said it becomes positive. Oh, the voice crack. Crazy. To negatively charge a pith ball by contact, touch it with a charged glass rod. Let's see. I'm gonna show you what happens when you touch a neutral object with a charged object. Okay, let's say this is neutral, and this is positive. Whenever you touch a neutral object with any other object, the neutral object takes the charge of the object that's touched with it. Okay, I'm gonna explain why now. Okay. هلا عندك neutral sphere. You have this neutral sphere over here, right? It doesn't have charge, and it comes close to the positive. What does the positive? What happens? What happens? This positive. Do you think the positive is gonna gain electrons or lose electrons? Of course, it's gonna gain, right? It's gonna gain the negative charge because it's positive. We want to try and make it. We want to counteract the positive. We need to balance it out, right? So it's gonna gain negative charges from where? From this guy, from the neutral one, right? So when this it takes electrons from the neutral ball, this neutral ball is now losing electrons. So what's gonna happen? It's gonna حتصير positive. This one is gonna try and become neutral. So that's why whenever you charge a neutral object or any ball with another object, the neutral object will take the charge of the object it's being placed in contact with. So هلا when you're charging it with a glass rod, it should be positive, but they're saying negative. So أكيد it will be wrong, right? If they wanted to negatively charge it, they would put it with a polythene. Oh, not charged, قصدي هون. Polythene rod or plastic, because polythene means plastic, okay? 5. نشوف. A polythene rod يعني okay is rubbed against a woolen cloth, okay. Wool, okay, the rod gains a negative charge. This is to show you, by the way, that it doesn't really matter if it's paper or wool. Like it doesn't like over here. Remember when I told you? Here it doesn't really matter. They don't really ask this. Like repeat. See with paper or wool. Yeah. So with plastic, it works with paper or wool. With glass, it's with silk. Okay, those are the things. Okay. Uh, by the way, please, if you want, like, if you really have extra time, read the ebook. Really, wallah. Like, especially these blue texts. I swear to God, the blue texts almost every exam they're coming. Like almost all of them are coming in every exam. By the way, okay. The شو اسمه, they like to get questions from these blue texts. They're very important. Anyway, we said the polythene rod is rubbed against a woolen cloth. The rod becomes negative. What is the charge acquired by the woolen cloth? Is the Heidi start negative? What is this? I keep positive. If the cloth and the rod are brought to close to one another, what will happen? They're gonna attract. Of course, guys. شو هالأسئلة التافهة. Question 6. Two rods are each placed on an insulated stand such that they are in contact with a suspended metal coated ball. So عندك rod هون or rod هون. Okay. Then they got a charged rod. It's brought in contact with the rod. In the figure on the left, it repels. But in the right one, it does not interact. It just stays here. Which one is a conductor? Which one is an insulator? أكيد this one is a conductor with this one is an insulator. طب وليد يا أخي كيف؟ ما look, if you go to the ebook, I'll show you. كمان it's in my notes if I'm not wrong. Over here, yeah. This experiment is to show that conductors allow charges to flow. Because when you put any شو اسمه charged object, but this is about the ball. Remember when I told you if you want to make a ball, if you want to like make a ball positive, put it in contact with a positive rod. If you want to make it negative, like here in the experiment, put it in contact with a negative sphere. Anyway, rods will repel the ball. Okay, charged rods will repel the ball. If you put it with plastic, it won't repel because plastic is an insulator, so it won't allow the charges from the rod to repel the ball. بس إذا كانت metal, أكيد it's gonna be insulator. It's gonna be a conductor. If it's metal, it's gonna be a conductor, which is gonna allow the charges from the glass rod to flow and thus repel your ball, right? So أكيد the one here is a conductor since it's repelling it, وهي the insulator because it's no contact يعني. On 7. Okay, here they're asking you is why an insulator or conductor. By the way, this was a question in the exam. أكيد here it's an insulator because the ball isn't repelling. Question 8. Okay, this is the chart. Hello, I'm gonna explain this. Okay, they want to negatively charge a sphere by induction. Okay, here there's two ways to use induction. You can either use it with two spheres. You can either use it with two spheres or you can use it with one sphere. With two spheres, we explained it in question 2, I think. Yeah, question 2. We explained it. Halla, with one sphere, I want to show you what happens. You have a neutral sphere. You bring a positively charged sphere close. Let me zoom into this so you can see it just a bit better. Should be able to move, right? Yes. Okay. You have a neutral sphere here. We bring a positive rod close to it. The positive rod will cause the negative charges to flow close to it because it attracts the opposite charges. With the positive charges build up on the other side, away from the positive. What do? They earth it. They earth it, meaning, you guys know earthing and grounding is when you touch it. You touch it with a bigger conductor, either your finger or, I don't know, usually your finger. Okay? So, without removing the glass rod, the sphere is momentarily earthed by touching it with the finger, for example. And this symbol, by the way, is used to earth. Yani, whenever you say earthing or grounding, this is the symbol we use. Okay. After you stop earthing it, خلاص, only negative charges are left. With the metal sphere is left with a negative charge. What happened here? Enter over here. Yeah, I don't know why I froze there. When you put your finger, let's see here. We have one. Okay, this is your finger, right? You place it in contact here. Obviously, these positive charges are gonna attract what? Negative charges. So these negative charges are gonna flow to the ball. وهلا the ball only has negative charges, right? I should have drawn it here. Anyway, but these positive charges will attract these negative charges, right? So it's gonna cause a buildup of negative charges here. Once there's only now negative charges after I earthed it, what am I gonna do? I'm quickly gonna remove my finger and then I'm gonna remove the rod. وهلا what am I left with? Only negative charges. Okay? So you start أول شيء, you put the uncharged metal sphere. You bring the rod close to it, the charged one. You touch it, okay? You touch it with your finger. Your finger will cause negative charges to flow to it, thus leaving only negative charges, thus keeping it negative. The problem is here, some people would ask me, طب أنت when you earthed it, isn't earthing, in earthing, don't the negative charges go out? But see here, the negative charges are all trapped under the influence of this positive charge. So that's why the only thing that's going to happen here is it's only going to gain more electrons. Okay? That's why. Okay. So over here, should we place the neutral sphere? After we place it, what do? We get the charge rod close to it, right? After we get the charge rod close to it, how does it look now when you have the positive rod here? All the negative are here, all the positive are here, right? What do we do now? We earth it so that now, quickly, we have to earth it quickly. So that now it's only negative charges left. When there's only negative charges left, we take this one away. Well, now the sphere is negatively charged. Okay, these are very important. Question 2 and question 8. One of the past papers actually includes this process and it asks you what happens. So make sure you know how induction works because I'm 100% sure they will ask it in the computer. Okay. What is earthing? Another term for earthing is grounding. In this process, the conductor is connected to a much bigger conductor. هيك نكون خلصنا. Thank you so much for watching and good luck.